Happy morning, children. Once again, I welcome you all for this online class. And today we are going to study Geography Lesson 1. And the title of our lesson is Resources Part 1. So, what are resources? Last year we studied about resource in geography. So, what is resource? So, resource is anything which fulfills or satisfies human needs. We call them resources. See, for example, take water. Water satisfies human needs, isn't it? We use them for drinking, washing our clothes, washing our vessels. Then irrigation purpose, we water our crops. So water is useful in different manner. So we can call water as a resource because it fulfills or satisfies human needs. So anything, any material or anything which is available that fulfills or satisfies human need, we call them resource. And there are different types of resources. We can classify them into three mainly. Okay, that is natural resource, man-made resource, and human resource. Last year we studied about them, isn't it? So what is a natural resource? Any resource that is available in nature, we call them natural resource. Okay, so what is man-made resource? Any resource, any natural resource which was processed by man and it becomes end result. The end result is called man-made resource. See, for example, sugar cane is a natural resource, isn't it? So we get sugar from sugar cane. So when sugar cane, the natural resource is processed, and finally the end product is sugar. So sugar is not a natural resource, it is a man-made resource. Then what is the third one? Human resource. So human resources, uh, using natural resource we get more benefits. Using the natural resource we get more benefits, we call them human resource. Okay, for example, doctors, teachers, so they are human resource. So these are the three classifications of resources. And also we studied last year about three activities also, isn't it? About three activities we studied: primary activity, secondary activity, and tertiary activities. What is primary activity? That is, in the earlier days, in the ancient times, man, man needed only his basic want, that is, food, clothing, and shelter. So, whatever available in nature, he used them as it was. So, for example, for food, he hunted animals and he ate them. He did fishing and he ate the fish. Regarding clothing, he took the skin of animals or barks of the tree and he wore them. Regarding shelter, he lived in caves. So here, man did not involve in any processing. Whatever is available, he used them as it was. So these type of activities we call them primary activities. So what is secondary activities? So anything involved in processing, taking the natural resources and we process them to get another material, we call them secondary activity. Okay, so what is tertiary activity? Tertiary activity involve the usage of primary and secondary activities. So using uh, transporting the primary and secondary activity, we call them tertiary activity. Example, bankings, trade, commerce, these things comes under tertiary activities. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, importance of resources. So natural resources satisfy daily needs of man such as food, clothing and shelter. So in this class we are going to focus only on the natural resource, only on natural resources. Okay. So the natural resources satisfy daily needs of man such as food, clothing and shelter. Natural resources also contribute immensely to boost up a nation's economy. So it is highly, natural resources are very much important for the economy of a country. If you have more natural resource, it will boost up the economy of a country. So the economy of a country depends upon the availability of natural resources in that particular country. Now we study about the classification of natural resources. So natural resources are classified on the basis of two important things. One is origin, another one is renewability. What is origin? That is their how they were available, their beginning point. That is origin. Renewability means can they be used again or not? That is called renewability. Okay. So natural resources are classified on the basis of two important things. One is regarding their origin, another one is renewability. So origin is further divided into two divisions. One is biotic resource, another one is abiotic resources. Renewability also divided into two divisions. One is renewable source resources, another one is non-renewable resources. Okay, let's focus upon one by one. Now let's move on to the origin, on the basis of origin. So on the basis of origin, we'll study the first part, biotic resources. So biotic resources are found in biosphere, which is obtained from living and organic materials. So bio is a Greek word meaning life. So biotic means which related to life. Okay. So it is obtained from living and organic materials. Organic means natural materials. Okay, not which is made by hands. It includes, so biotic resources includes forests, crops, birds, animals, fishes, man, and materials that can be obtained from them. So whatever is available in nature, all those things which is available in nature, and if they have life in them, if they have life within them, we call them biotic resources. Fossil fuel such as coal and petroleum are also included in this category because they are formed from decaying organic matter. So even non-living, okay, materials that does not have life in them also comes under biotic. Example, coal and petroleum. Even though coal and petroleum, they have no life within them, but they were a product of a living being. Okay, through living being only we get coal and petroleum, so they comes under biotic resources. Okay, next division is abiotic resource. So abiotic is exactly opposite to biotic. Since since biotic is life, abiotic is without life. Abiotic resources are non-living parts of an environment. Example of abiotic resources are land, water, air, sunlight, and heavy metals including ores such as gold, iron, copper, silver, etc. So these resources, they don't have life within them. They comes under the abiotic resource. Okay, now let's move on to the next section, that is on the basis of renewability. First division is renewable resources. So what is renewable resources? A renewable resource is a resource which can be used repeatedly and replaced naturally. So any resource which we can use them again and again, we call it renewable resource. Renewable resources harvested and used rationally will not produce any pollution. So when we use this type of resources rationally, that is very in a linear manner, okay, only in less use, they will not produce pollution. Only if you use them more, it becomes polluted. Okay, the use of renewable resources and energies the use of renewable resources and energy sources increasing worldwide. So the renewable resources are used by the world in more and more. As time progresses, the world is using them more and more. The need of renewable resource became high. So example for renewable resources are solar energy, wind energy, and hydropower. So in our class today, we are going to focus upon these three examples. Okay, the first one is solar energy. So what is solar energy? Solar is also a Greek word. It is a Greek word meaning sun. Solar is sun. So the sun produces energy in the form of heat and light. So we get heat and light from sunlight. Solar energy is not harmful to the environment. Photovoltaic devices or solar cells directly convert solar energy into electricity. So the solar cells, that is in the solar panels, we have solar cells. So these cells have the capacity to collect the mm, energy from sun, and they convert it into electricity. So individual solar cell in a group of panel can perform small applications from charging calculator, watch batteries to large such as to power residential dwellings. So when you look at the solar panel, you have uh, small cells inside. So these cells have the capacity to uh, charge batteries, watch batteries, and calculators. Even when you buy the solar calculator, you have at the top of the calculator you have a rectangle shaped panel, that is the solar panel, small cells, solar cells, which has the capacity to absorb the heat from sun, and they convert the heat into um, electricity. Okay, so these solar panel cells, they have the capacity from charging calculator and batteries, and with large solar panels we can even give electricity for a residential house. So photovoltaic power plants and concentrating solar power plants are the largest solar applications covering acres. So these are the two plants, photovoltaic power plant and concentrating solar power plants. These are two important plants that gives larger solar that is useful for larger solar applications covering acres. So it need a huge acres of land uh, so that these plants can produce electricity. So what are the countries which use major utilizes the solar energy are India, China, Japan, Italy, and United States of America. Okay, let's move on to the next energy, that is wind energy. Wind power is clean energy since wind turbines does not produce any emissions. So wind power is clean energy since wind turbines does not produce any emissions. So the turbines which collect the wind and they convert into energy, it is it does not pollute the environment because uh, it does not emit any uh, harmful gases. Okay, so in recent years wind energy has become one of the most economical and renewable energy technologies. The classic Dutch windmill harnessed the wind's energy hundreds of years ago. So the classic Dutch windmill is the earliest form of earliest windmill which processed the wind energy. Okay, so it was invented hundreds of years ago. So modern wind turbines with three blades dot the landscape today, turning wind into electricity. So modern windmill you could have seen in villages, isn't it? They have three blades. So they were placed in the landscape. So they convert the wind energy into electricity. So major wind energy producing countries are United States, China, Germany, Spain, India, United Kingdom, Canada, and Brazil. So even in Tamil Nadu, when you go to Tirunelveli, you can see the windmills, isn't it? So they were placed on the landscapes. Okay, so whenever wind blows, these fans they start to rotate. So when they rotate, the wind energy was converted into electricity, which is stored in the turbines found inside the windmill. Okay, then finally, hydropower. Hydro is also a Greek word which is water. Okay, hydro means water. So, hydropower means water power. Water is considered as a great source of energy because it is used in many different ways. Hydroelectricity is generated from moving water with high velocity and great falls with help of turbines and dynamos. So when water is pushed with a huge force, it creates energy. You see waterfalls and all. So in waterfalls, there is a huge velocity of energy. Collecting that energy, the forced water will fall into the uh, blades of the turbine, and the turbine will uh, start rotating, and finally electricity will be formed. So hydroelectricity power is the cheapest and most versatile source of energy out of all known energy. So it is the cheapest and durable form of energy. Hydroelectricity power is renewable source. China, Canada, Brazil, United States of America, Russia, India, Norway, and Japan are some of the countries producing hydroelectricity. Sorry.